You know, just take a second and look at the screen you're watching this on. The pixels, the code, all that invisible architecture that makes it all work. We're living in a world that's, well, built on pure logic. But where did that logic, the actual language of our digital universe, even begin? The answer is probably not what you think. When you and I think about the code that runs our lives, our minds immediately jump to, the tech hubs of the 20th and 21st centuries. We picture Silicon Valley, garages, university campuses, maybe some innovators in hoodies, right? But what if I told you the story doesn't start there at all? What if the very first lines of this digital language weren't written on a circuit board, but in the sand? So yeah, the foundational language of our modern world, it wasn't born in Silicon Valley. Nope, its roots trace back 1,200 years to Baghdad. We're talking about the absolute beating heart of the Islamic Golden Age, a city just teeming with scholars and poets and dreamers. And right at the center of it all was this one man, Muhammad ibn Musa Al-Khwarizmi. I mean, his legacy is so profound that he gave us not one, but two of the most fundamental concepts in all of science and technology. He's known as the father of algebra, and get this, his very name gave us the word algorithm. So how on earth did this one person come to shape our future so dramatically? Well, his story, it doesn't begin at the center of the world. It starts way out on its very edge. Al-Khwarizmi was born around the year 780 in a place called Khwarizm. That's in modern-day Uzbekistan. Now, this was a frontier land, a major crossroads on the Silk Road, where goods, ideas, and cultures were constantly colliding. And as a young man, he made the incredible journey from this remote outpost to what was then the greatest city on earth, Baghdad, where he would go on to join the legendary House of Wisdom. You have to understand, Baghdad in the 9th century was the intellectual capital of the world. There was this profound belief that knowledge itself was sacred. It really wasn't just a city, it was an idea, a massive testament to the power of human curiosity. And the House of Wisdom was a true collider of intellects. Just try to picture it. Scholars of different faiths, different backgrounds, all sitting side by side. They're translating the great works of the world. You've got Greek philosophy, Indian mathematics, Persian astronomy, all of it being translated into Arabic. The goal was basically to gather all of human knowledge under one single roof. It was right here that Al-Khwarizmi came across a truly revolutionary idea from India, a system of 10 simple symbols, including this one, the concept of zero. Now, he didn't invent it, but he did something maybe even more important. He became its greatest champion. He was the one who really understood that with just these 10 simple digits, you could describe the entire universe. But, just championing numbers, that wasn't enough for him. Al-Khwarizmi used them to introduce a completely new way of thinking, a method for finding the unknown. He called it an art of balance, a way of bringing order to chaos. He wrote a book, and in its title was the word Al-Jabr, which is, of course, the origin of our word algebra, but the original Arabic meaning, it's just beautiful. It means the restoration, or even the setting of broken bones. You see, for Al-Khwarizmi, math wasn't about abstract problems. It was an act of healing, of making things whole again. And the process itself is just so elegant. You start with an unbalanced problem, an equation where something's missing. Then you apply Al-Jabr, the restoration, moving pieces from one side to the other to fix what's broken. And in the end, balance is restored, and the unknown, what we call X, is revealed. It's just a logical, step-by-step procedure. And he didn't invent this for academics in ivory towers. He created algebra to solve the real, messy problems of everyday life. Things like, how do you divide an inheritance fairly according to some really complex laws? Or how do you measure a field or calculate the volume of a canal? Al-Jabr gave people a clear, logical procedure for finding the answer every single time. Al-Khwarizmi's work really laid the foundation for a whole new way of seeing the world. He was like a weaver, taking these threads of numbers and logic and creating this incredible tapestry that would, almost unbelievably, stretch all the way to our present day. And he applied this same logical method to everything. He used numbers to help map the known world, to correct the astronomical charts of the ancient Greeks, and he even got a more accurate measurement of the circumference of our entire planet. The man was busy. But his most enduring legacy,
Well, it might just be in his name itself. When his works were translated into Latin centuries later, Al-KHAWARIZMI was written down as algorithmi. And over time, that term came to mean any step-by-step procedure for solving a problem, an algorithm. The very process he pioneered now literally carries his name.
Al-Khwarizmi passed away around 850 AD. And tragically, the House of Wisdom was destroyed centuries later, its priceless books apparently thrown right into the Tigris River. His own grave has been lost to time. But while his physical presence, his books, his tomb, all vanished, his ideas had already begun their journey across the world. They were unstoppable. So the next time you use a search engine, or follow a map on your phone, or watch a video recommendation pop up, just remember the weaver of numbers. His step-by-step logic, his Algebra, it's kind of the ghost in the machine. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it, that a 1,200-year-old system for restoring balance is still running right now on your screen.